Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Everyday Joy podcast. I'm your host, Ash Owen, and I cannot wait to find moments of joy with you today. If you aren't already a part of the Everyday Joy Facebook community group, would you click the link in the description, head over there and join the incredible group of people following God, trying to find moments of joy, and most of all, seeking after God. I'm so excited to dive into today's episode of the Everyday Joy podcast, so let's get ready to listen to the word of God.
Let no corruption talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Ephesians 4:29.
Shay, we're wrapping up the week on the Everyday Joy podcast.
Woohoo! Friday.
I am currently, look, we're recording this ahead of time, but I'm currently...
It's no secret.
It's no secret, guys. We can't smash out at one episode a day.
No.
But basically, I will have just come off our church conference. Crazy time. Few weeks at church conference, worship leading, doing all those things. And then I'm at a work conference for a couple of days.
I know.
And then this weekend is like my hen's night. So like, Shaylee, my life feels like
It's a lot.
chaos right
You've
now.
got a lot going on.
When you were like in that crazy wedding season, Shay, what was like something that you wish you did differently or in hindsight of that season?
I feel the same. My wedding season, it was chaotic, especially my first wedding.
Yeah.
To the same person. Because we had a small
I
wedding.
love that you always
I have to
disclaim
say.
that. My wedding to the same person.
Same person. First wedding. It was just so chaotic because we had this trip booked to Europe. So we're planning Europe and trying to plan a wedding and an engagement party and fit everything in, plus figure out house and moving and all of that. It was so hectic. I think when I reflect, I reckon I handled the chaos pretty well, but I would have liked just to be in the moment a little bit more. Yeah. I was constantly thinking of the next thing.
That's so true.
And I would have liked to be like at my engagement party in the moment, not thinking of the upcoming wedding.
Yeah.
Then at my wedding, thinking of the wedding, not thinking of flying to Paris the next day.
Yeah. Did you go the next day?
The next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got married on the Monday. We flew out on the Tuesday.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's great advice. I want to be like that too. I don't want to wish this time away. Like I keep saying to myself, like, you're never going to be engaged again. You're never going to have this like fun, it's like that clip from Friends where she's like, I'm never going to be a bride again. And she's like crying.
It's so true.
It's like, I want to enjoy these moments of going,
Yep.
it's an exciting time and it's fun. And to be honest, as much as it's stressful, I've also loved it. Like I've also absolutely loved it.
Good.
So I'm kind of like, I want to enjoy it. I don't want to be rushing. I don't want to be like,
and you have
wishing
a lot
the
on,
time.
but like, yeah, just wherever you are, just be there.
yeah, that's so
soak it up.
good. So good, Shay. Thank you. I'm feeling better already.
Oh, good. Now,
Ephesians 4 verse 29. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as in good for building up as fits for the occasion, so that it may give grace to those who hear it.
I love this verse. I think for my whole life, I have just been so aware as to how powerful words are.
Yeah.
Like words are the most powerful thing we have. They will literally build somebody up or completely tear them down.
Yeah.
And when I look at this verse, I really reflect on how we speak, making sure that when we talk to someone, it's as if we're giving them a gift, that we're speaking good, beautiful things to build them up. Because, yeah, it doesn't take much it doesn't take a big word to burrow down into your heart and completely change the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah. And I think even when you said like a big word, sometimes it's offhanded comments.
Yep.
Sometimes it's
Correct.
those things that your parents said to you 10 years ago.
Yeah. And they
that-
probably did not mean it.
No.
Or it was I wish you could be more like that person. Bang. There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're completely comparing every part of yourself to everybody else.
Totally.
Because you don't feel enough.
Totally.
And when you tell your parents now and you confront them, it completely breaks their heart because they did not have bad intentions.
Totally.
They would have just been frustrated in the moment.
Yeah.
or
1,000%. 1,000%. And I think, it's so easy to allow our words to become negative.
Yes.
And I think there's a time and a place for it, because we need moments where we are frustrated. We need moments where we articulate our emotions. But I think that when it comes to talking to people, when it comes to talking about people, we need to be so aware of the words that we're saying and the words that we're speaking out. And, you know, and even I love that last line. It says, and so that it may give grace to those who hear. I think what that verse really knuckles down on at the end there is it's saying, you know, at the end of the day, when people hear what you talk about, are you giving grace?
Yep.
Are you allowing room for, you know, I think as you become an adult and as you live more life, you realize that everyone is just trying their best going through life.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I can think of it, this is a dumb example, but the other day we were at church and I was so tired. I just worked the whole day. I went and run like a night of prayer and worship. I'd organized like food for our entire team. Like it was a busy, big day. And I'm pushing these tables back. I've just cleaned up the entire thing afterwards. I'm pushing these tables back and someone like was trying to be silly and they like stopped the table and they like stepped in front of it. And I'm not usually a snappy person, but in that moment, I literally just went, can you not? Like I was so...
Yeah, you were done.
I was done.
Yeah.
And as soon as those words came out of my mouth, it's like my soul was like, oh my gosh, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Because that's not who I am. That's not my
Totally.
normal character.
Exactly.
But I think that for me to go, oh, that was me in a very tired, very overwhelmed, ready just to go home. The person that was doing it was trying to be silly and like...
Yeah, they were just
having fun. But where I was at was
Yeah.
met with this frustration, right?
Yep.
And so it's a silly example and it makes me sound so mean.
No.
But I think what I'm trying to say is we need to have the grace to realize that people are going through stuff, that people have had a day, whether it's just a tough day, whether it's been a bad day at work, whatever it is, our emotions change.
Yeah.
We're in these highs and we're in these lows. And you know, I felt like as soon as I said that, I was like, Lord, I'm so sorry. And I like quickly went up to them later and I was like, I'm so sorry. That was so bad of me. But like, I don't know. It was just one of those things where we need to give grace.
Yeah.
We need to, whether it's the giver,
Yeah.
or whether it's the receiver,
Yeah.
we need to be people who go, okay, yes, that was frustrating. Yes, that's going on. But like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
Absolutely.
Where's the grace? How
Yeah.
can we be more gracious?
Yeah. I've been definitely on both sides. Like I am not like faultless in this whatsoever. I have definitely used my words to tear someone down, especially, I sound like a terrible person, but growing up two sisters, we went through, look, there was a lot of fights in my house over ridiculous things.
Oh yeah, clothes.
Barbie dolls. And I knew that I could say some pretty horrible things to really
Yeah.
show how frustrated I was at those girls.
Yeah. And I think when it's siblings as well,
Yes.
you know how to hit their buttons.
Oh my God.
And you also have this, it's like this comfortability with being brutal sometimes.
Totally. Absolutely. So there was lots of tears. We always apologized in the end, but you don't really know the damage that you've already caused.
1000%.
And then on the flip side, I remember I was working so I used to work in film and television, and one of the actors there, she was known for not being a very nice person, and you were either on her good side or
Right.
you were completely cast off, and she did not like me at all. And she just made a few snide comments to me that really cut, like, especially when I was new there, said things like, you know, oh, I'm too much, or I'm not, I don't know, just little things like that.
Like about your character and your personality.
Pretty much just saying that she didn't like being around me because I was a lot. And that really stuck. And it wasn't even like the worst thing you could say to somebody. Does that make sense?
Oh,
But
100%.
when someone does talk about your character, it really tears you down.
Yeah, we were talking before about how we saw this thing on, it was like a TikTok or an Instagram reel or something, of this teacher who was teaching the kids to be like, hey, if you're going to say something to someone, if they can't fix it in 30 seconds, don't mention it.
Yeah, Rob and I spoke about this on our show a while ago. Yeah, if someone can't fix something about themselves in 30 seconds, do not say it.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, your shoelace is undone. Or,
hey, your makeup's a little bit smudged.
Yep.
Let's just fix this.
Exactly. But if they can't fix it about themselves in 30 seconds, don't mention it.
Yeah.
And that is just the best rule.
Yeah.
It really is because, yeah.
You're
it's just the
you're
best
not
role.
alone in that. And look, I don't know if it's a commonly thing experienced by women. I actually don't know. But like I've been told like you're too much, or like you know, you've I don't know what the right word is. I don't know. You're doing too much, or you're being too much, or
you're
you're
too loud,
or you're too extroverted, or you take too much space up. Like that has been said to me by different people on multiple occasions. And it's really hard because when it's your personality, right?
Yeah.
You're not inherently doing anything wrong, but your personality is flamboyant and loud and excited and fun. And I think that sometimes when that sort of thing is said about you, it really affects you because you can't fix it. You can't change. Or if you do change it, which I have before tried to pull back because I don't want to offend or hurt anyone. And it's not because I'm out here hurting or offending anyone.
No.
But it's because I'm like, oh, if that's how they perceive me,
Correct.
then I don't want to be like that. But I think that realizing that our words, and those words that were spoken, you know, someone might not have even realized how much it affected me or how much it affected you, Shay.
Exactly.
But I think that when you've been on the receiving end of it, we need to be aware of what we speak and what we say.
Yes.
Whether it's in the heat of the moment argument, whether it's a frustration, whether it's, you know, just a quick comment that you just don't think through properly.
Yeah.
The most innocently intended comments can cause a huge cut in someone's confidence.
Absolutely.
And life and character. And so, you know, I think let's just be people who are aware of what we're saying. Let's just be people who build each other up, who have grace, who have compassion, and who want to be people who uplift and encourage. And, you know, if you, and, you know, maybe even you go, there are moments where I understand you have to go, hey, right now, we just need to quieten down.
Absolutely.
I get that. Time and place. Sure. But I think let's just be aware of how we speak about things people can't change. Let's be aware of how we speak about what God has created us to be. And so maybe you've had something said to you, and I'm so sorry that you've had something said to you. Take the time to work on discovering who God's made you to be. I kind of did this massive journey over like the COVID years, 2019, 2020, 2021, going through like self-confidence. I remember I couldn't write a list of 50 things I liked about myself. Like my mentor told me to, and I was like, I can't do it. I was like, there's not a single thing that I like. And I think some of it came down to things that people had said about me. It came down to those moments of going, I don't want to. I actually think that those comments made me not want to seem confident because I didn't want to seem forthcoming. I didn't want to seem too much. And so I did a really big work with God to be like, oh, who am I? Like, who did you create me to be? And that changed everything. It built my confidence. It built my joy. It built my resilience because I didn't care as much what people said. So whatever you're going through, take the time to bring it back to God. If people have said those things, remember to check in with the Lord. Be like, Lord, is this a lie or is this truth? And make sure you remember that your words can uplift or they can pull down anyone so easily. I hope that you got so much out of today's episode and got things that you can take into your week, into your month, and into the rest of your year. I cannot wait to continue to unpack the Word of God with you tomorrow, but until then, I pray you're able to find moments of joy.